This mini-series is for people who want to make changes to their life. I've done it in a series of classes. The first three are important to do in order because they provide the very basics, the foundation. And all the other ones, you can just go through, pick and choose which areas of your life are important for right now, what you want to change. Might be creating a relationship, might be getting rid of anxiety or depression, might be developing a better career or job or fulfillment in life. Every aspect of life we cover with these mini-series, and they're all free. So you find them at John Verwey 2020. Just help yourself there and keep reviewing them, but get what you need out of them, and then move on to the next one. So on this one, class 1, we've called it the Discovery of the 24 Life Ingredients. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Each question you'll have 10 seconds to answer, and let's have some fun with this. So the idea of this is it's going to provide a basic idea of a starting point of life where people usually go wrong. So the first question is, what is a car? An automobile. What is that? What's the first thing that comes to mind? So then, might not give you the full 10 seconds because I think you'll get the point of this. The second question is, what is life? And so as we consider what comes to mind, what's that instant practical answer that you have for that question, what is life? Now, to give you an idea of what people are typically doing, typically the answers I get from thousands of people I've asked this question of is a car is something with 4 wheels and an engine. You use it to go from point A to point B. Your answer might be similar to that or not. But the generality of it is we have a pretty practical answer for that. But when it comes to life, one of the first responses I get is pause, and then people, gee, that's a good question. And then they'll say something like, I either have to think about that, or they'll go off into some theoretical or some airy-fairy or something, but anything but a practical answer to what life is. And the reason that I bring that up is if, for example, with the car, I would say, well, a car is something you buy for $30,000, and then you, 10 years later, you send it to the scrapyard and you get virtually nothing for it. Well, I wouldn't have too much interest in something like that. But by having a practical idea of what it is, then I think, okay, well, I could use that. Easy way to go from point A to B, perfect, great. And when we get the same kind of idea, the same kind of practical definition for life, then we've got a starting point of how we change our life. So let's try on this definition, that life is a series of connected and related experiences. And from there, we can build on that to say, okay, well, there's macro experiences. So the big things that happen, such as, school, education, childhood, getting married, anything, even considering a good night's sleep can be a macro experience. And the micro experiences are the things that make up the macro experiences. So macro experiences don't just drop in your lap. Macro experiences happen through a multitude of micro experiences, and those micro experiences create the macro. And in this class, in this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to combine the mind side of it, so the spiritual, with the body side, so the physical. Because we live a physical, spiritual life, we want to use our mind to create what our physical outcome is. And so through this, in this exercise, so the first part, we're going through how do we think about what we're trying to accomplish. And then in the second part, like in the other part, the matching part of that, we're doing how do we physically work through this. So another question for you. Do we have a choice about everything in life? And if your instant reaction to that is that we have no choice about everything, then consider that even that is a choice. When it comes right down to it, we can decide if we have a choice or not, knowing that everything is a choice. And the reason that this is important is that as we explore, we'll be doing that in our class fairly shortly now, in a few minutes, is that as you explore what the micro experiences are in your life, then you'll be able to decide, okay, well, can I change that? What can I do instead? So for example, let's get into it. Let's use an example of the macro experience of a good night's sleep. Now, when you're what's the beginning of that macro experience and what's the end of that? We could say, well, when we fall asleep or when we wake up is the beginning and end. But consider that the way that we wake up, the way that we sleep, has to do with what we're thinking beforehand. Are we stressed? Are we worried? We're not going to sleep at all. Are we relaxed, calm? Are we in a good state of mind? Are we inspired about tomorrow? We're going to sleep differently, and we're going to wake up differently depending on the state of mind. So you can see that when we make choices about what our micro experiences are, then we influence what our macro experiences are, and that's how we change our life. So whatever situation you're finding yourself in, if you're unhappy with whatever you want to change in life, and you can be guaranteed that everybody listening to this is going to want to make some change in their life, because that's natural human basics. We're always looking for that better. When we're hungry, we want the better, and so we eat. When we've eaten enough, we want better, because we don't want to overfill ourselves, or even if we do eat too much, we want better, so we stop eating. When we're tired, we go to sleep, because getting sleep is better than being tired. But when we wake up rested in the morning, we get up because it's better than staying in bed. So, and that's how it goes through life. And we consider even something as serious as suicide. The person who's gotten so depressed that they've seen nothing but misery in life sees suicide as the better option than living, because they see it's better to be gone than it is to be living in a life that they're completely unhappy with. Now, from a person who's in the position of being of a more positive mindset, then you're going to be saying, well, that doesn't make sense to want to commit suicide. But to the person in that who's brought themselves to or like a high level of negative inspiration, that's to them is logical. So between life being a series of connected and related experiences, and we have choices about the experiences that we make. So we're going to go through this exercise. Now, of course, this isn't something you're going to do while you're driving or busy with something else. This is something you're going to do when you can sit on the couch or lay down or relax. And what you want to do is the first thing, and the key to all of this, is that you want to be physically relaxed. Because if you're stressed, if you're not totally relaxed, then what's going to happen is you're going to rush through this, and you're not going to completely absorb what you're doing. You're not going to make the subconscious changes that you want to make in order to create a different outcome. So to give you an idea of what you're aiming for in this, for the physical side, what you're doing is you're breathing in through your nose and you're breathing out through your mouth. And the thought process that goes along with that, so the spiritual side to that, on the background, is that every time you're breathing in new energy from the universe. And when you're breathing out the negativity or anything that's less than productive, like the used energy, everything that you're done with, you're breathing that out. So you can close your eyes, take that nice deep breath in through your nose, and then feel that you're breathing in through all the pores of your body, not just through your nose, but the fresh energy is coming in through your whole body. And then as you exhale, then from your lungs out, just let it all out, and you'll notice that in a few breaths that you're very quickly becoming more relaxed. Now, if you're having difficulty with that step, then you may want to go to another mini class number 2. So you might want to review that one first and then come back to this, because everything, like I said, is interconnected. Life is a series of connected and related experiences. So as you're going through these videos, you might find the beginning of this one is useful, but then for where you're at, because you're finding that you're too stressed and you're not able to focus on what we're going to do, then you might want to go to the second one. That gives you the ingredients that you need to be able to come back to this one and the other ones and really start to make active, practical changes in your life without it being work. It's going to be fun. Like, I'm a very strong believer that we don't do anything by force. Everything flows naturally. We go with the flow of the river. We don't try to force ourselves into something, out of something. And there's, like, whether you're looking for classes on fitness, on health, on anything at all, they're all covered, because once you've got the 24 life ingredients down to a science, there's nothing in your life that you can't do on your own with the ingredients that you've gained here. So in this exercise, we're laying back, we're relaxing, we're breathing. Within the background, we're aware, not necessarily thinking about, but aware of the energy coming into us, beautiful brand new energy, and then the exhausted energy going out. And so our whole body is being rejuvenated through the breathing. And then, so that's the physical part of this. And then the spiritual side of this is now, as we've got our eyes closed, we think about, how did we wake up this morning? Now, in that split second, you're going to have some thought that crossed your mind. And for that, to discover more about that, you want to go to the mini-series class number 3, where we talk about what do we really think. And that's going to give you a lot of insight into that. But for now, to stick to this exercise, for those that are up to speed right now for this, so we're thinking about, how did we wake up this morning? And then we think, well, we're either happy or stressed or indifferent or energetic, not energetic. And then we start to break down all the micro pieces that went to that happening. So what were the thoughts that we went to bed last night? Did we have a plan for the day? Were we inspired by the day? Were we looking forward to it? Were we anxious about it? What's happening in our minds about that? And as we can start to identify first 5 or 10, but then eventually we'll identify that there's thousands of micro experiences. We can pick and choose the key micro experiences that we've had, and we say, okay, if I'm waking up stressed, I'm waking up uninspired, what micro experiences do I change to come up with a better outcome? And so what we do there is, now when we go to the mini-series class number 4, where we talk about the natural thought process, then we can start to see, okay, so how that works, and we can apply that here to discover what are the new micro experiences that we can have in order to create better outcome. So then, as we do this exercise, and this is something that you can do often, it's suggested you keep coming back to it, because what you've done today in it is a starting point. You've got a rough framework and overview, but if you follow me here, copy, join, however that system works, just be able to go back through this video, go through all of the different classes, and pick and choose what you need. And as you're growing in each of those different areas, then you can jump back and forth between them, so that you're going to get the most value, and then you're going to start seeing changes. So what will happen as a result of doing this is, you're going to be able to lay back, you're going to breathe, you're going to be in a state of relaxation, and then not asleep or not drowsy, like fully aware, fully awake, but relaxed. And then from that state of relaxation, you're going to start to explore the areas of your life that you want to change, and then you're going to start to explore the micro experiences that make up the macro experience that you're having. And so, as always, when you have questions about this and you're not sure where to go next, what the next step is, or if you're stuck, send me a quick note. Wherever you're seeing this video, send me a note, and I'll follow up with you as quick as I can to give you a bit of direction as to the next steps. So with all this, there's no cost, there's no fees. Important thing is, remember, John Verwey 2020, and that this series of classes is available for every aspect of life. And when you apply what you're learning here, just take the time to do it, then you're going to change your life. And you don't need anything else. You don't need psychiatrists and psychologists and medication and all this other. I'm not saying to stop what you're doing in the moment. What I'm saying is that as you discover for yourself the kind of power that you have as a human being, then you're going to be able to manage your life. You were born with that power, and this, knowing the 24 life ingredients, brings that back out for you. So all the best, and I look forward to meeting you.